morning, it's Hot Seat. I'm Scott Mitchell, and this is Joe Dorman of the Oklahoma Institute for Child Advocacy. Joe, good to have you in.
It's always a pleasure, sir.
I want to show you your latest constituent for children in Oklahoma. This picture, this is Atticus. Atticus is the son of Alex and Liberty. My daughter, Liberty, my first grandbaby. Today is Liberty's birthday. July the 3rd, get it? Atticus, Liberty, you figure this all out, Joe.
I know a certain great-grandfather is pretty happy, too.
That's the first time my mom and dad have seen the baby.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so anyway, that's what happens with COVID, and so it's happy birthday, Liberty. That's a young child. We have a lot of children being born in Oklahoma. How are we doing?
So we have about 900,000 children in the state of Oklahoma. OICA's job is to be the voice for Oklahoma's children at the state capitol and within state agencies. I would say you're doing fine, Oklahoma, but the truth is we can do a lot better. The Kids Count report came out, and we were ranked 42nd in the nation. Now, that's a slight improvement, but we must do better. And one of the reasons that we watch that is to do a legislative scorecard each year to gauge how the lawmakers are doing at the state capitol on behalf of children.
Who are your winners?
So Jacob Rosecrans was the valedictorian of the class. He had the only perfect score. We had 6 lawmakers who finished with 105. We gave bonus points for authoring a bill and also getting a bill passed. We had 18 lawmakers that had 100. Members of leadership did very well, including John Eccles. We were pleased to see overall many of these bills that went through. But that being said, there were some that we didn't like, and there's some that needed more action that didn't make it through the process.
Okay, so Medicaid expansion is underway. People have talked about our health outcomes, things like nutrition, smoking. How are we doing on those?
I had the chance to be the guest of Chief Chuck Hoskin in Tahlequah this week to visit with leaders from the federal government talking about the kickoff for Medicaid expansion in Oklahoma. This is certainly going to help. When adults are insured, kids get more well-child visits. That's why OICA was so involved in the Medicaid expansion. But that being said, we've got to do a better job. Smoking rates are too high, obesity is too high, overall ACEs, we're still top in the nation.
No, let me interrupt you for just a second. Explain to people real quickly what ACEs means.
ACEs is a study that's been going on since the 1980s. It's adverse childhood experiences. It measures 10 points of child abuse, neglect, divorce, mental health issues. When it comes to looking at Oklahoma with 3 or 4 or more ACEs, we're top in the nation by percentage. And that's generational trauma. That's the trauma instilled on kids, and in turn those kids, when they get older, they raise their kids the way they were raised.
Are we bottom 10 in the country in those?
Unfortunately, we're worst as far as ACEs, and as I said, in Kids Count with the 16 data points, we're 42nd. We have seen some improvement, but we've got to focus on that. There are people, the governor has made a mission to look at childhood obesity. Joey Hoffmeister has done a tremendous job in the State Department to look at trauma in schools. We had lawmakers author bills this session, like Sherry Conley, to look at multi-tiered systems of support. We've got people doing great work, and we're very appreciative of those lawmakers and leaders who are doing their part, but we need a greater focus on this.
Okay, we've got about a minute left, a couple of things to get to. Heroes Ball. What is the Heroes Ball? What do people need to know?
Heroes Ball is OICA's annual tribute to the champions for children in Oklahoma. It's going to be on July 30th. Last year we had to do it all virtual. We won a national award with that with Reagan Communications. This year we're going to go back live in person. In Oklahoma City it's going to be at the Skirvin. In Tulsa it's going to be at the Greenwood Cultural Center. Dr. George Henderson is our keynote speaker talking about race trauma, and we're honoring leaders like J.C. Watts, Bob and Jean Harbison, Chad and Cheris Richardson, people that are doing great work to help kids in the state.
Okay, in about 15 seconds, there's also an award coming up named after Ann Roberts.
That's right. Ann Roberts was the longest serving executive director at OICA, truly was one of the greatest champions for kids in Oklahoma. Go to oica.org. You can purchase your tickets there, and you can also vote and nominate the Child Advocate Individual and Organization of the Year. We want to make sure we have a good representation for who the child advocates should be recognized out there. oica.org. Be a part of this fun event. It's Captain America and Wonder Woman's 80th birthdays, so couldn't think of a better way to celebrate.
Just like Liberty's.
That's right.
Thanks, Joe, for being in.
Thanks, Scott.
See this again at news9.com/YourVoteCounts, and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.